Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
And now we're going to our next speaker here, who is Evariella Lindberg, but she won't be able to be with us. So she asked us to play her video. It's Shabbat for her. She comes from Israel, so she's in Shabbat celebration today. Shabbat Shalom, Evariella, wherever you are. But she really loves this movement. She maybe even start in Israel very soon. And she's an amazing author, artist, and a spiritual teacher. And she's a peace worker. And she will be speaking to us about Tulip Love Healing System, which is she started this healing system. So, thank you.
Hello, hello. It's wonderful to be part of this worldwide united event. My name is Evariella Lindberg, and I'm actually Swedish. Mitt namn är Eva Lindberg. Jag är född i Stockholm. And I'm really wanting to share part of the work I've been doing for over 20 years that started in America. And I wrote a book about a healing system. And just a little bit background about myself. So as I said, I'm born in Sweden. And I lived in Israel also a lot. And I was married to an American, therefore I went to study in the Bay Area. And I studied at the CIIS school in San Francisco, drama therapy and psychology. And then I studied the reinvention of work with Matthew Fox at the Oakland Institute for Spirituality and Leadership. And it was a really good way for me to find that system that I developed, because the background was about how do we help society in new ways that are like really breaking through the old patterns in education and in psychology. So after I started the healing system, I found a community in Marin County, and we call it the Tulip community. And so each time we did an event or a workshop, I started to write down what happened, and part of it was channeled and part of it was also didactic. And what's interesting was that I wasn't planning to write a book about tulips, and the book became Tulip Love, and you can find it online. It was almost like the tulips had me. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to write a book or anything, or I think I love the flower tulip. It just became part of me, and then I started drawing it, and I've been very much an artist since I was 12 years old. So it just comes down all the time, these images of tulips and also other styles in my art. But I don't understand until today why it was downloaded so strongly, because it's almost like I know this flower on a mystical level. So I had to sort of download it onto form and writing. And so it's a 300-page book with art. So I'm going to show you a presentation about it. I've been doing workshops and events and book talks about this healing system since 2007. And the actual activities and workshop we started in 1998. I'll show you also some pictures of the places we did the events and also the ideas behind the system. And it's a bit of a delicate kind of alternative healing system, because I'm working with the flowers And I don't think I've seen too many people work with flower consciousness. There are some really great authors, but I think it's really important to develop that part of Mother Earth more and more. So now we'll share with you and come back at the end. I'll do a share screen, and here we go. I'm gonna set you up here. All right, so here is the presentation. So this is the book cover, and this art piece I did myself. The tulips were grown at the Tulip Sanctuary in California. Okay, the book itself has not just the healing system, it has the history of the tulips and the tulipomania period, which is a very interesting time, 1635, 1634 to 37. The botany, how to plant tulips, the qualities of the tulips, the healing system itself, which I'm working with the inner child, the regal self, and the bridge between them. I'm also touching upon mysticism, Kabbalah, because things that I discovered during this writing, and the chakra system, the blossoming process. There are exercises for individuals and couples, and also poetry and more. Here's another art piece that I did called the Family Tulip, and it's a community feeling within this petal blossom. You can see at the bottom of it, and it's coming together and joining in unison. Tulips mean perfect love in ancient mythology, and it has language of presence. If you look at the shape of a tulip, it's very perfect. It has a grail shape, it has a cup shape, it has 6 petals, so it's also holding a space of presence and also able to receive from above the love and light. So it's like a vehicle for receiving. And it's a very, very unique form. Not many flowers has this stand up and holding a presence. There are those kind of forms, but they usually are not erect. They're more sliding to the side. The language of the tulip is I've sort of listened to their messages, is that it's important to slow down, to observe ourselves and our loved ones, and to breathe deeply, to be in the presence of beauty and bloom. Now, I want to just make a little parallel. When we look into the mirror, we don't always say, wow, you're so amazing. What a beautiful being you are. We're pretty critical of ourselves, right? And when we go into the forest or when we see flowers in a garden, we go often very much like, wow, this is an amazing blossom. I love it. And we are just so elated by the glory of God's creation. But why don't we do it to ourselves? We're also beautiful, delicate blossoms. We forget that. And we also forget sometimes that we're a little more sensitive, maybe, than we admit. And the world is very harsh and very tight. We have to really, really embrace our sensitivity too. In order to survive this world, we have to protect it. There are archetypes that are work in the system. The inner child, this is more the delicate part of the flower, and then the regal self, which is manifested in its presence. Many people are amazed by the tulip because it has a majestic outlook as well. And I'm working on these two archetypes to integrate them as well in the workshops. Now, when you look at the word tulip, it also can be seen as two lips. So in our first events, we made the big tulips, and you're entering through there. And then we have different events in different formats. But here we have a dome, and so when you enter into it, we have a set of healing spaces and thrones to celebrate the both inner child and the regal self. And that's something I write about in the book. And each one is invited first to have this healing within the realm of the inner child, and then later working on a bridging towards a more mature self, the regal self. Those are the things that are very strong in this healing system. And the tulip is sort of the language for it. It's a parallel. We use tulip crowns to celebrate the glory of the flowers and also the regalness within us. And that's something that came to me to create. I wasn't thinking, specifically to do this. It just was a natural sense that this would be an elevation of our meditation into our crown chakra, into our higher self. And then later it became more Kabbalistic. The Holy Grail is something that's been used a lot in mythology of filling the cup to make it overflow and to also conquer this place of emptiness within this holy vessel. It's something very mystical. This has happened for even a lot of men in the times of the in the times where they were trying to sort of look for that mystical fulfillment, the knighthood and the search, and this kind of very archetypal. And then the last piece here you can see are the tulip thrones inside the tulip to celebrate that regalness. You will see here what we did in the center in California. And it's a beautiful space, very high ceilings, so you can really feel the majestic sense of being in celebration of your own regalness. These are the tulips we grew outside. Beautiful surrounding to be in a meditative place, to come home to yourself. Here you can see the work of both the inner child. We have healers who work with everybody on the mattresses. And it's a system that is written in the middle of the book of sort of the process that we envelop in order to find that delicate place in us and come home and love ourselves from that innocent place and delicate place. And then there's a work of bridging that into finding that regal place within us. You see a couple here with the thrones, or one woman meditating, coming home to herself. These are more pictures of events. And I have added here a few pages from the book. I'm not going to go into it, but just to get a sense. The sun, the rain, the clay, the spirit is what we're feeling when we also connect to the elements as human beings. So these you can find more in the book. Also the different characters of the actual blossom, that how we are developing as blooming and into withering stages. This is the center in Jerusalem. People are invited to feel the regalness. And thrones, also celebrating being a queen for the day or forever. It's really a wonderful celebration. I'm going to go through this fast, and I wanted to show you also a few pictures and images of the process of developing this tenderness sort of within the tulip shape. And then this is artwork that I'm showing the expansion process from a little seed of a tulip, the first image to the left, growing into one's embryonic self, and then the inner child, and then the expanded self. Here are the regal family, the journey, the magician, the queen, the king, and the community. Also, the Holy Grail is pictured here, and then the turbans that many people used. The Turks also celebrated tulips. It's also a manifestation of that crown chakra through the tulip form. And lastly, I'm going to show you the Kabbalistic letters of Hebrew and the tulip, the letters Ayin and Shin within the tulip grail, and also the tulip gateway to the right. It's all about accessing that fire within, the flame, gnista som man säger på svenska, to really find that home within ourselves and to sit within it and enjoy our own beauty and regalness. That is very important, while we're also accepting and acknowledging our own beauty and tenderness. So I'm going to stop this and say goodbye soon, because I think I'm at the end of this. Let me see how I can get out of this. And it doesn't do it for some reason. And where is the mouse? Okay. I can't find the mouse to click the end of the thing. Okay. We'll stop here. This just doesn't close for some reason. I don't have a technical issue here. Okay. Let's see if I can exit this way. There we go. Great. So I wanted to say thank you so much for this beautiful sharing. And I look forward to hearing more of you. I want to be able to be with you maybe on the 11th, maybe yes, because I'll be in Shabbat mode, and I will look forward to see the recorded Zoom afterwards. I'm really, really excited about all the Swedes showing up. Heja, heja Sverige! Men ha det så fint, och vi ses. Kramar från Eva och mina lilla tulpaner. Hej då! Ciao. God bless. Take care. Be well. Much love. Yay!
She made me laugh. Wow, well, this is funny. A wonderful talk from Eva, which I find amazing. I love that she's bringing the royalness as a topic. As we are walking into the Aquarian era, it's impossible to not relate it to Leo. And Leo for me is the royalness. So I can hardly put this into words just fast, but just to say that the only time that I really felt the meaning of royalty was coming to the heart, and that heart consciousness is really our royalty, and it's a royalty that belongs to all of us. We are all royal beings. We are humanity, and we are awakening to that regal self in a big way. And when we awaken that, then we can fully walk the Aquarian era, which is, they're a pair, they go together. And I bet Christina, I can see her, Christina Larry is here. She's amazing. She will be speaking about all this. She's an astrologer, and she's beautiful knowledge of the archetypes, the archetypical knowledge, and which Eva has started touching wonderfully. So without saying much more,